Well, greetings and hello there, everyone. It is I, your beloved and most loved Star Wars Dead Nooch Too Good, and we are here at my free-to-play account, my Nooch Too Perfect account, where I'm farming the Executor, and I've been seeing a lot, I've been seeing this a lot on roster reviews lately, and I think that I can take a big chunk of the blame, because while I talk about farming multiple fleets on roster reviews, and I'm always checking for those multiple fleets, I'm not talking enough about farming multiple fleets when I give out farming guides and talking about fleets, so I want to address it today. Today we're going to talk about the first 3 fleets that every player in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes should farm on their roster. The first 3 fleets you should have, because I'm seeing too much of people that are just farming their way toward Executor and not thinking about anything else, and that's a mistake. I'm going to tell you right now, you guys know, I think I'm probably the biggest honk in this game for making the Executor your very first big farm in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes to get you those daily crystals in Fleet Arena. I am an absolute advocate for it. I think it's the best idea. I think it's the perfect way to start an account, is build up all your assault battles and get the Executor to get you those daily crystals. You're building up the oil that's going to run your Star Wars Galaxy Heroes engine. But in the process of doing that, you have to make sure you're not neglecting every other fleet that we have. And I've seen a lot of this lately, and I mean a lot. I've seen a lot of people farming the Executor and not farming any other fleets in the game. So let's talk about those fleets and what they should be, because obviously when we talk about the first 3 fleets in the game, we're starting with the Executor and farming your bounty hunter ships and getting your way. I still gotta get this node open. I can't even get this node open. I'm 12 weeks into free to play and I cannot open this node for punishing one. It's frustrating, but it is what it is. Hey, 12 weeks, a year and a half ago, I would have still been just barely getting to level 85. So it is what it is. Now, farm those and get the Executor. Now, there are 2 other fleets that are really important. And these are going to be the 2. We're going to talk about what these are comprised of, what it looks like as you develop your game. It's the Galactic Republic fleet, and it is the Separatist fleet. And why do we focus on these 2 fleets so much, as opposed to talking about like a Chimera or an Executrix with the TIE Defender in there? I'm just not really a huge proponent of farming Iden Versio early in the game. I know some of you guys, really into that. I farmed her on my Nooch Vader account just to see what it was. It just didn't. The returns are not there. The return on investment is not there for Iden Versio the way it is for the Veers Troopers. So I'm just leaving that on the table. I think this Imperial fleet is one to develop down the road for you, but you should definitely be looking at your Galactic Republic fleet and your Separatist fleet as fleets number 2 and 3 in some order and out of some construction. And let's talk about what that construction looks like. And I'm going to start here with the Separatist fleet. Now, I'm doing this game free to play. A lot of you guys are doing this game free to play. A lot of you guys are buying bundles, and a lot of you guys are spending some money here and there on different stuff. However you're spending money in the game, the ships and characters for these 2 fleets, I wish I could have them both on the screen at the same time, for the Galactic Republic fleets and the Malevolence fleets are pretty low-hanging fruit. Plo Koon's a little weird to farm, isn't it? You gotta get, that's a Cantina battle. That's not so bad. Or fleet energy. So the ships and characters are not that hard to get on your roster in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. I am going to start with saying that full fleet number 2 in the game, I believe, in most cases, should be this Malevolence fleet. And let's talk about what puts that fleet together and how it works, and why I lean that direction, while also kind of giving a nod to the Galactic Republic fleet, but maybe not in the way that some of you early gamers are thinking, but we'll talk about that in a moment too. Malevolence is the hardest thing to farm on this. Malevolence is available only in here, the Guild Events store, with your Get To currency, which I accidentally spent some of this on Kyrotex, which you should not do, but my guild, 12 weeks in an early game guild, is now starting to do Dark Side Geonosis territory battles. We're not going to get a lot of stars. We only got 5 so far into day 3. We're probably going to get like 6 or 7 stars fine. That's fine. 6 or 7 stars as far as rewards. I hate this. There's got to be a way for me to click on rewards out of the screen that I'm just not seeing. And there's not. And there's not. I don't know. Somebody tell me how to see rewards there. There we go. The rewards for like 6 or 7 stars. I'm going to get 2,500 get to currency. That's not a lot. That's not a lot, but it's better than a stick in the eye. That get to currency should only be invested in one of 2 things until you get both things completed. And that is the Malevolence and that is the Negotiator. That get to currency, which I've already screwed the pooch on it, okay? Am I allowed to say that? I don't know. Is that... It's not... Whatever. Look. Malevolence and Negotiator. That's the only place you spend get to currency until you get them both activated. Now, it's going to take some time, boys and girls, especially if you're in a guild like mine that's just getting started on Geo Darkside territory battles for your guild. So, it's going to take some time. In the meantime, while you're doing that, you have to make sure that you're farming Grievous down here. Oh, there he is. Thank you. Grievous down here in the Fleet Arena store every time he pops up. I can't believe I missed him there. But what I'm looking at with that Separatist fleet, with the Malevolence fleet, these Geo ships are really pretty easy to farm. I mean, they really are. Spy and Soldier are going to show up in the Galactic War Store. There it is. Galactic War Store. I don't have any currency, but Spy's in the Galactic War Store right now. I wouldn't do this in the Fleet Store, and I wouldn't do it with this get currency either. But Geo Spy and Geo Soldier are in that Galactic War Store. I mean, just on repeat. Like, every day they're in there once or twice, each of them. And also, Sunfac shows up in that store every now and then, but Sunfac is also on a very early fleet node. That's fleet node 2A to farm in there. You can also get them with fleet store currency if you want to do that as well. This fleet right now, for me as a free-to-play player, is actually really beneficial to me, because, excuse me, burp, and I had some ice cream, and, you know, I thought just, burp. Anyway, you gotta farm the Geos as an early gamer so you get yourself into that guild that's doing Geo territory battles, right? You gotta farm the Geos, so go get their low-hanging fruit ships. These are not hard ships to farm. All ships take a while, even in the Galactic War Store. It's just not fast farming. So we're working towards these. And because I'm farming these Geos, that's why I believe Malevolence should be your first big capital ship out of Malevolence and Negotiator. I'm also looking at, I'll have to be farming Vulture Droid eventually and Hyena Bomber, which I have some shards of those guys. I don't think I farmed them. I think that must just popped up from an event somewhere. So, but I'll need to farm those. So farming up this fleet, I think, well, for me on my account, is going to be my #1 priority to get this fleet up and running. Now let's talk about the other half of that, which we mentioned, Malevolence and what? Malevolence and Negotiator. You should farm those 2 ships with your get to currency, 1 at a time to 5 stars, the other 1 to 5 stars, maybe 1 to 7 stars, whatever it's going to be, until you get them both to 7 stars before you start thinking about other stuff there. But here is the thing. Here's the thing with the Galactic Republic fleet. And this might be why this fleet makes more sense for you. Maybe even for me. I don't know. The Endurance is a capital ship that they give you immediately in the game. It's one of the original 3 capital ships. And the Endurance, while not quite as good as Negotiator on a 1-to-1 basis, is also very, very capable of building up your first Galactic Republic fleet to be something effective in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. Not to mention, in the end game right now, Endurance is countering Leviathan with Lando's Falcon in there. So a lot of good things happening with Endurance. It got a rework a couple years ago. It is a very good ship for you to invest in early in the game and throughout. Now, do we need more Galactic Republic ships so we can make 2 fleets out of this? Yeah, probably. We also need some more Rebel ships. So I can see them not doing a capital ship for a long time, but just starting to release a bunch of ships to give us 2 Galactic Republic fleets, to give us another, make Home 1 relevant again. I can see that totally happening in the game. Maybe even more Empire ships. Oh, now I'm coming up with another idea for a video. Anyway, these Galactic Republic ships, and, we talked about the Plo Koon's needed for this fleet. You got to farm them. Can do just as well with Endurance early on as they can with Negotiator. Negotiator, you do need to farm it. it's going to carry you a long way in the game, but Endurance has a lot of plug-and-play places in the game, and we have a very good fleet for you early on. So, the first 3 fleets I believe should be on anybody's roster is the Executor that you guys are all farming, just the same way that I'm farming it right now. It's a slow go, but we are farming it. Your Galactic Republic fleet with the Endurance at the helm. And another reason for that is, why would you go, you know, spend all those early get 2 tokens on Negotiator when you can function for a while with Endurance, right? And then spend that get 2 currency on the Malevolence, and the Malevolence is your 3rd fleet. Those are your first 3 fleets in the game. Later get Negotiator, later get that Empire fleet worked up with TIE Defender, TIE Interceptor down the road, and that's what I think. That's what I think your first 3 fleets in our game. Don't neglect anyone. You need to make sure you're at least on the ball working on these fleets from the very beginning on some level, so that you're prepared to field them later in the game when they start to make a real difference, having multiple fleets when you get out of Bronzium Grand Arena, when you get into higher levels of Territory Wars, and etc, etc, etc. There you go. First 3 fleets in the game: Executor, Galactic Republic with Endurance, and your Malevolence. Change my mind. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Always remember, Nooch too good.